Kyiv struck by devastating Russian drone attack. Three lives lost, including a young girl and her father, in a heartbreaking turn of events. Kyiv was rocked by a massive Russian drone strike overnight, resulting in the tragic deaths of three individuals, including a 5-year-old girl and her father. The attack, which occurred on March 23rd, targeted multiple residential buildings, leaving many injured and communities in shock. According to the Kyiv City Military Administration, 10 others were injured in the attack, including an 11-month-old child. Emergency crews worked tirelessly to extinguish fires caused by the drone's strike, ensuring that all flames out by morning. The young girl and her father had recently relocated to Kyiv from Orikhiv, a town in Zaporozhye Oblast that has been heavily impacted by Russian assaults. While the mother survived the strike and is currently hospitalized, the family loss is an unbearable tragedy. Eyewitness reported a series of explosions throughout the night as air defense units remained on high alert. Initially, reports indicated two fatalities, but as rescue operations continued, the body of the little girl was discovered among the rubble in the Holsvisky district following the earlier recovery of her father's body in the same area. Today, the Russians are once again demonstrating their desire for people. In reality, terrorists are simply launching deadly weapons at residential buildings. Emergency services responded rapidly to the devastation, working to contain fires across the city. The Ukrainian Air Force reported that Russian forces launched a staggering 147 drones overnight, with an air defense successfully intercepting 97 of them. This follows a pattern of drone attacks, as the previous days saw 100 and 114 drones shot down respectively. Kyiv announced that at least 7 people had been injured, with one hospitalized and other treated on site. Multiple residential buildings in Dynamorvisky district were targeted, with a fire erupting on the upper floors of a 9-story apartments building. 27 residents were evacuated as a precaution. The assault did not stop there, as debris from drones struck the catering facility in the same district. In the Podilivsky district, a fire ignited on the 20th floor of a 25-story building, with Takachko later clarifying that one of the deported strikes were yet to be confirmed. Additionally, the office building, warehouses and residential trailers, 2 casualties were reported, and the state emergency service were on high alert. The aftermath of this drone attack has left a trail of destruction, with fire and property damage reported throughout the Kyiv. 2 cars were also damaged in Skavenkiv district. As the city grapples with the impact of this assault, the resilience of the people continues to shine throughout the amidst chaos. In a significant development, Russian and United States officials convened in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia on Monday, that is today, to engage in discussions regarding potential 30-day partial ceasefire in Ukraine. The meeting follows a series of negotiations that took place earlier between Ukrainian and US delegations. The primary focus of the Riyadh talks is to establish a halt to long-range attacks targeting energy facilities and Ukrainian civilian infrastructure in both nations, also along with a ceasefire in hostilities occurring in the Black Sea region. Despite these diplomatic efforts, the conflict persists, with both Ukrainian and Russian accusing one another of conducting drone attacks overnight. Russian President Vladimir Putin expressed his desire for reduction in Western sanctions imposed on Russia, as well as the necessity for presidential elections to be conducted in Ukraine. The last elections in Ukraine took place in 2019, prior to the onset of Russian extensive invasion, which led to the enforcement of martial law. Ukrainian officials asserts that holding elections amidst ongoing hostilities is unfeasible. According to the complexity, former presidential Donald Trump has suggested the possibility of imposing extensive banking restrictions and tariffs on Russian Until a peaceful resolution is achieved, sources close to the matter have revealed that Trump administration is exploring options to ease sanctions if Russia commits to ending the conflict. As previously told, the ongoing discussions between Russia and US officials are expected to address the critical issue of attacks on energy infrastructure in both Ukraine and Russia. In a recent phone conversation, Putin and Trump reached a consensus that the path to peace would begin with the temporary cessation of assaults on energy sites. However, tensions escalated shortly after this announcement as Russia accused Ukraine of launching an attack in southern Russia, while Ukraine claimed that Russian strikes had targeted hospitals, homes, and disrupted power supply to multiple railways. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has indicated that his government is prepared to compile a list of facilities that would be included in the proposed partial ceasefire, encompassing energy infrastructure, railways, and ports. Additionally, the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant is anticipated to be topic of discussion, especially over Trump's proposed in a recent call with Zelensky that US could potentially assist in managing and possibly owning the facility. Throughout the duration of the conflict, both Russia and Ukraine have leveled accusations against each other concerning the risk of accidents in the nuclear plant located in the Russian occupied region amidst their military sanctions. So, according to me, the Riyadh meeting is also waste of time because there is no hope of ceasefire as Putin is demanding more and more abolition of ammunition supply to Ukraine, and they will never accept Putin's demands because if supply of ammunition is halted, then Russia will overpower Ukraine in more powerful method, and then they will attack the civilians infrastructure also. Similarly, they will take hold of other countries even if their national budget is much less than Ukraine, Germany, England, and France. Those European countries will also be captured by Russia because Putin want to expand his empire, and without any solid guarantees, Zelensky and other European leaders will never accept the ceasefire. Of course, that should be continued also. Otherwise, also I had a lot of argument with different artificial intelligence. They know that short-term remedies will not work, and we have to accept that all these countries will keep on fighting with each other with immense powers, and the possibility of world war will always prevail because like-minded people like us have no other options but to sit idly close to any river and then talk about world war or other kind of differences between nations so that their own personal lives can be calmed in that way, and they can compromise with their feelings, with their restrict obligations, restrictions, or any kind of age-old obsolete cultural behavior which they are following. Most of the actors of Bollywood and Hollywood don't wear any kind of clothes during shooting of crucial pictures which were successful in 70s and 60s only, and people are such backward in nature that they can't accept these kind of extramarital affairs, and they think that God will definitely sprinkle different kind of currencies on their houses, and they will collect, and then they will meet the lawyers or judges, and then they will be given justice. It is not like that. You have to accept cruelty, you have to accept vulgarity, you have to accept bigamy. It means that the world has reached and you don't have any option but to tell these kind of inspirational words to others, because they will ultimately they have to die only one day or another. You have to die, you have to accept that the soul can be kept aside, and you can accept different kind of crimes different kind of words against your own well-wishers, against your own family members, and everything is granted and accepted. And lawyers will keep on demanding immense amount of money from you. And even if Ukrainian girls are beautiful or not, it doesn't matter a lot for you what kind of achievements you have made in life. Why should they interact with you if Belarus is such powerful and they are exporting different kind of components to America also, and America had no other option but to acquire different kind of semiconductors from Beijing, and that should be enough that you will never be supported by America or Canada in any way. You have to accept that you have to spend your own European currencies for your own defense, and you have to be united in that way. Why are you treating yourself as NATO only? You are a continent, you have to be very defensive and responsible in nature. You have to be continuing. You should accept war should be continued. You have no other option also, because ultimately your future generations will be preserved till you will become more and more powerful against Russia. You don't have any option also. And moreover, if king of the world is ordering to destroy, ultimately his own security depends on the wars itself.